They thought he was bidding on a derelict freighter, just another rust bucket up for auction. What he didn't know was it housed a stowaway, an alien princess hiding from her enemies. When he claimed the ship, he unwittingly won a bride. Suddenly, his salvage prize becomes the greatest rescue, and romance, of the galaxy. Zane Carrigan never meant to win anything more than a crusty old freighter. In the dusty auction halls of Nimbus Station, rust-eaten vessels went under the hammer every cycle, and he, an interstellar salvager scraping by on spare parts, seldom had the credits to bid. That morning, however, fortune smiled. Rumors swirled that the Aurora's wake was a derelict left behind by a now-defunct exploration fleet. A bargain, everyone said. A fixer-upper for the right price. Zane pressed his bid button before thinking. 10,000 credits. 12, 16, 20. His heart pounded. 3 rivals dropped out. 25,000. Done. He grinned, imagining the salvage rights alone would cover the cost. He'd haul it back to his junkyard orbiting Lysara and strip the hull for parts worth double. He never imagined what he'd truly bought. By the time Zane boarded 2 days later, word had spread of his coup. Freight crews and curious scavengers watched as he stepped onto the Aurora's wake's silent deck. It smelled of stale coolant and neglect. He flicked on his helmet light and called out, "Hello? Anyone home?" No one answered. Perfect. He strolled down the corridor, making mental notes of broken consoles and torn cables. Deck by deck, he'd map the systems, jury-rig the engines, and get this ship moving. Maybe even spaceworthy again. In engineering, sparks flew as he jacked into the reactor's diagnostics. Readings flickered. Hull integrity, critical. Power reserves, negligible. But the fusion core intact. A good day's work, he thought. Then he heard it, a soft cough. His head snapped up. The beam caught movement at the far end of the compartment, a shape hunched in shadow. Zane dropped his toolkit and drew his plasma cutter. Dangerous odds but better safe. "Whose?" he began. The figure straightened. She was unlike any silhouette he'd ever seen. Tall, lithe, with skin the color of moonlight and eyes that glowed faintly teal. Her hair rippled like liquid silver. She wore a torn jumpsuit stamped with the insignia of a long-lost empire. Zane's weapon wavered. Alien. She raised trembling hands, palms outward. "Please don't shoot." He blinked. Sorry. I thought. "Stowaway," she whispered. "I didn't choose this." In the ship's galley, Zane offered her water. She drank it as though her life depended on it, which, after 3 months alone in the dark, it did. Her name was Arieth. She'd been an envoy to a distant world, betrayed by her crew, left to die for political secrets she carried. She never intended to be discovered. "I hid," she said, voice raw. "I had nowhere else to go." Zane heard stories like hers in the slums of his homeworld. Smuggling, piracy, espionage. But here, alone together, her fear was real. He sat across a battered table. "You're safe now. This is my ship, well, our ship." He paused, awkward. "Do you want help? I can get you somewhere safe." She looked at him, tears glistening. "I thought I was alone." Zane swallowed. "Neither of us is alone anymore." A strange warmth bloomed in his chest. Over the next days, Zane and Arieth worked side by side. He taught her human salvage techniques. She showed him basic alien engineering. She found a hidden stasis locker containing her envoy uniform and datapad. He watched her eyes light up at the first message she sent, hope broadcasting from a silent world. At night, they shared stories. He spoke of his childhood in the scrapyards, of the death of his sister in a freighter accident. She spoke of her planet's ocean moons, their bioluminescent forests, the music of her people. They laughed, once over burnt ration cubes, and he realized how tiny moments of joy could feel enormous. One evening, under the artificial glow of the navigation bridge, Arieth traced constellations on the viewscreen. "In my culture," she whispered, "when 2 souls chart the same stars, it is a sign of destiny." Zane's heart skipped. "I thought destiny was for fiction." She turned to him. "Maybe it's real." Her hand hovered, then settled on his. Electricity, whether plasma arc or human spark, coursed between them. But reality intruded. The Federation patrol vessel Odyssey masked its approach through the ship's comms. An officer's voice crackled, "This is Lieutenant Mara of the Federation. You've claimed the Aurora's wake without proper clearance. Stand down and prepare to surrender any unauthorized personnel." Arieth froze. "They'll send me back to die." Zane squared his shoulders. "Not on my watch." He keyed the local comm channel. "Lieutenant, I am the legal owner. Arieth is stowaway, no felony, just refugee. I request asylum procedures. His voice was calm, but adrenaline pumped through his veins. Lieutenant Mara's reply carried a note of respect. Your claim is unorthodox, but your registration checks out. I'll escort you both for processing.
Escort. Not arrest. He exhaled. Thank you. He turned to her.
We can do this. At the station's asylum office, bureaucrats clicked through files. Zane provided salvage credentials. Arietha's datapad revealed her envoy status and coup evidence against corrupt officials. After hours of tense waiting, they announced approval. Arieth could stay as a protected refugee, eligible for Federation aid.
Zane beamed.
Arietha's smile was brighter than any star chart. Late that night, on the station's observation deck, they watched the glittering lanes of traffic, freighters and liners weaving the fabric of civilization. Zane wrapped an arm around Arieth. I don't know much beyond scrap metal and star maps, he said. But I do know I don't want to lose you.
She leaned into him.
I never thought I'd find kindness, or love.
He kissed her forehead.
Then let's see where the stars take us. Beneath alien skies and human lights, two strangers, once alone, once afraid, found something neither bargained for, each other. Their journey was just beginning, and the galaxy awaited the story of the ship he won, and the bride he never expected. They led me through the processing bay in handcuffs, but at every step Arieth trailed beside me, no guard between us, her hand brushing mine in silent thanks. The Federation officers buzzed around us, datapads and protocol manuals clutched in gloved hands, but I barely noticed them. My attention was on her, her silver hair tied back in a makeshift braid, her glowing teal eyes refusing to look away. She was free, yet still tethered by the burden of her past and the uncertainty ahead. When they finally unclipped our restraints, Lieutenant Mara cleared her throat. Arieth Soren is granted temporary asylum under humanitarian grounds. Issued ID and quarters at your request, Mr. Carrigan.
She glanced at us both.
Congratulations, though obviously this is unorthodox.
She managed a small smile.
Arietha's shoulders sagged in relief. Thank you, she whispered, voice trembling.
I thought.
I wrapped an arm around her. You're safe now. Later, in the cramped cabin I claimed on Nimbus Station, Arieth and I unpacked the relics she'd stowed: small data crystals, an heirloom pendant inlaid with bioluminescent chips, and a folded map of the Outer Rim. Each item told a story of her people, their ocean moons, the bioluminescent reefs, the music festivals under twin moons. She spoke of them softly, eyes shining with bittersweet longing. You deserve to be more than a refugee, I said, setting her map on the console.
This station, it's a start.
But you should see the stars again from your own ship. She gave me a wry smile. You make it sound easy.
I leaned forward. I'm a salvager.
If there's a hull to fix and an engine to revive, I'll find it.
For you.
The weeks that followed were a whirlwind of bureaucratic hurdles and midnight engineering sessions. I negotiated for docking privileges, her paperwork moving slowly through the Federation's bureaucracy. By day, we parsed legal clauses. By night, we scavenged old schematics and rewrote code to adapt the Aurora's Wake's NAV system to her species interface. One evening, Arieth sat on the observation deck beside me, legs dangling over the railing. The station's neon glow painted her features in soft hues.
You've given me so much, she said.
A future I never dared imagine.
I turned to her.
You gave me something I thought was gone forever, hope. Her fingers brushed my cheek. Then let's give each other everything. By the time the Aurora's Wake, reborn and shining, docked at Nimbus Station, word had spread of the human who'd salvaged not just a ship, but an alien princess. A modest crowd gathered: scavengers, engineers, officials, even a few curious tourists. They watched as Arieth emerged from the hatch, standing tall in a newly tailored uniform combining human utility and Teleran elegance. I stepped forward, holding something in my hand, the pendant she'd once carried. It had needed repair, the inlaid crystals dimmed by neglect. I polished each chip and refitted its frame, restoring its luminescence. I placed it around her neck, the glow pulsing softly against her skin. She pressed it to her chest. It's beautiful. It's yours, I said. Just like you. Before the onlookers, I took her hand. My voice was steady. Arieth Soren, I bid on this ship for its salvage value, but I gained courage. You asked for refuge, I offer my heart. Will you marry me? Gasps rose from the crowd. Arietha's eyes glistened. She looked at me as if seeing me for the first time, and then nodded, tears sparkling. Yes. The station's automated announcer crackled to life. Congratulations to Mr. Carrigan and Mrs. Carrigan. Around us, cheers erupted. Strangers clapped and whistled, an impromptu celebration in the sterile hangar. Arieth laughed, a clear, joyous sound that made my chest tighten. She leaned in and kissed me, briefly, passionately, before turning to the crowd. Hand in hand, we boarded the Aurora's wake. Its engines roared to life under our combined expertise. As we lifted off, the station fell away beneath us, and the curve of Nimbus Station's lights gave way to the infinite tapestry of the Milky Way. In the cockpit, Arieth cupped my face. We did it. I nodded, eyes on the stars. Together. Beyond the viewport, Orion's belt, the Pleiades, and distant nebulae stretched like a promise. Our journey had begun with a bid on a broken ship, and led to a vow beneath alien skies and human hearts. As we navigated toward new horizons, uncharted sectors, forgotten worlds, and the next great adventure, I knew one truth would guide us. In a galaxy of endless wonders and dangers, the greatest treasure was the love we forged between two unlikely souls. And so, beneath starlit expanses that had once been cold and indifferent, we carved our destiny, pilot and princess, salvage and sanctuary, human and alien, united forever by the chance bid that became their greatest fortune.